Okay. This will probably be a shorter meeting today. Let me put us on mute. But if anyone has anything they would particularly like discussed, feel free to put it in the chat or unmute yourself. So first, let's just take a moment and step into the room. Use your breath to kind of just arrive in this moment. To just show up to the current scenery, the current sounds. The feelings that come from this moment without all the past that you're dragging forward. Slow yourself down to this moment. Nowhere to go. Nothing to achieve. Nothing to fix. I remember when I used to live monastically, people who would study with my teacher from a distance would come in, and their first inclination was always to try and change things. They saw all these things that they thought were wrong or problems or could be done better. They'd come kind of pushing their way around, especially some of the ones that had hit higher ranks without really hitting higher wakefulness. It used to just be such a strange thing, when you come to a place like that. You really shouldn't be directing it. You should be first really, really accepting what's present. Slowing yourself down, taking in what's present without judgment, without agenda. Because you can't know something until you flow with it. You can't know the river until you've jumped in and flown with it. You have to become it. And the process of doing that will naturally make the necessary changes. In your life, you deal with this on a smaller level every single minute. You have an opportunity in every moment to become the view in front of you so that you can understand it, or to just fight with it and keep wishing it to be something else. The weakest of us never get beyond just wishing it to be something else, but never really willing to take the necessary action to change it. Middle rung is the people who are constantly trying to change it. But the highest rung are the ones who just become one with it. They step into it the way you step into a river, and they just let it move their body and their being, and they understand it deeply. And they respond to it rather than react to it. Doesn't mean you have to validate bad behavior. Doesn't mean you have to play along with any lies. It just means that you don't have your defenses constantly up. It doesn't mean that others are going to look at you and like you. A lot of times you're just the one who's super quiet. Just letting the currents and the eddies of the river do their thing. They'll react to you, sometimes negatively. But really what'll happen is that negative reaction, negative reaction will be them seeing themselves in the mirror of your silence. By becoming one with the river, you bring introspection into the river. You magnify awareness of any moment, any river you step into. You can feel it in this class, can't you? When you're really doing the work, when you're really trying to just let go and practice meditation, how that intelligence that is moving through you, it actually becomes a part of the walls of the room. It just fills the space, doesn't it? So every class, the first thing I have you do is just step into where you are. Take this moment in. Without trying to change it. If you have bad feelings, don't push against them. Take them in as part of the moment. That enhanced awareness will initiate evolution without you having to manipulate anything. Let's do that right now. Let's just breathe in the moment together. Just drop the fight. Some of us have just been through the Christmas holiday. Others of us have not, but it's still sort of the holiday season. And others will watch this video later, having been through it. I think tonight, why don't we spend some time cleaning out, resetting. We'll do a really good job of that, and then we'll let you get back to your night. So we're going to do the moving up and down the mountain technique. And what that does is many things. One, it brings awareness to those levels of consciousness in the body. We place our attention at different levels of our being. And so it takes us into those vibrations, and everything that we have stored there gets enlivened. And because you're aware, and because you're stepping into that particular river in your consciousness, it starts to evolve. Now, you can do that with an awareness of just releasing everything that isn't yours. All the energy that you've taken in, all the jabbering of relatives and people's viewpoints and opinions and needs. Even the unspoken stuff can be very loud. All the different things people need of you, the quiet validations. The people living against themselves and hoping nobody notices, all of that gets kind of stuck in your energy body. And so when you do this, you can just make an intention to let it out. And then the practice itself will flood energy into that level and facilitate the movement of that. So in that way, we're going to cleanse and we're going to energize at the same time. And you will feel better when we're done. So let's start at the head center. This is a ball of light encompassing the forehead, the crown, and it even comes up above the head. But the center is here. Okay? So just become aware of that center. And give yourself a little bit of time to let your energy shift, elevate. And let it all just open up so that anything that isn't yours can leave. So that any unnecessary cycles can terminate. Go ahead and lose the argument. give yourself the gift of just losing so that it can be done. To win on the higher levels, you have to lose on the lower levels. Otherwise, they'll keep you trapped, circling around. Just go ahead and lose. Find the stable center of that clarity. That place where it can exist on its own without you having to hold it up. It can be both light and stable. The reality is, it's already present and stable. What we're doing is we're stabilizing that willingness to get out of its way. Now just decide that it's going to stay there, doing its thing. And on the next inhale, you're going to bring yourself down into the heart. down to the heart center. Letting that clarity come down to the heart. Not to change it. First, become one with what's there. Just the same way you feel the currents in a river. No judgment. Just be there with it. Tend to it as it is. Just your attention will make it so that at the center of the heart a light starts to expand and grow. Now just a simple shift in intention. Anything that isn't yours is free to leave. You're just releasing your investment in it, that's all. The light will take care of the rest. Your body doesn't have to hang on to it. Nothing to drive out. But your awareness changes the energetic environment. And so some things won't stay if you're willing to just let them leave. This is a polite exorcism. Anything that stays will get elevated, and anything that can't elevate will leave. one with what's present there. You can focus at the center of the heart while being at one with what's present as it changes. Notice what that feels like. Nothing to battle. Nothing to resist. Nothing to brace against. Now exhale down to the lower center. This center encompasses the perineum, the navel, the solar plexus. But I would say the center of the center is the lower dantian, so just a few inches below the navel and a few inches inside the body. You're stepping into the river and experiencing what's there without judgment. Nothing to think about. Just notice the shift in the energy when you do it. When you give your attention to that center. Give yourself permission to release anything that doesn't belong to you. You're just releasing your investment in it. You're done playing with it. You're done storing it. Release, accept, and give your attention to the center. I want you to place a black pool in front of you, a shedding pond, still black water right in front of you. And in this lower center, I want you to manifest a stone. A stone that absorbs everything you've taken in from other people. Everything that is gumming up the works. Everything that is making you too heavy. Even if it's just the food you ate. Now with your hands, take that stone out of the center of your body and drop it into the shedding pond. Drop it into that black water and just watch it sink and watch it disappear. That feels a little better. Do another one. Pick up any straggler energy. Smaller stone. You can even move it around the lower center so that it can really just snatch up anything left behind. And drop it into the shedding pond. Watch it disappear into the black waters. Now return your attention to that lower center and just be with that cleaner lower center. And on your next inhale, rise back up to the heart. Manifest another stone for anything that is stuck or gumming up the works of the heart center, anything that isn't yours, anything you're hanging on to. That feeling of stuckness, of heaviness, manifest that as a stone. Now take that stone out and drop it into the shedding pond. Watch it disappear into the black waters. Manifest another stone just to pick up any stragglers. Move it around the rib cage, collecting anything, any pain, any unnecessary energy, anything that might block the flow. Move it all along the inside of the ribs, the back of the inside, the sides, the front of the inside. Even up around the bottom of the throat. And drop it into the shedding pond. Watch it disappear. Come back to the heart center. And on the next inhale, rise back up to the head. Why don't you manifest something lighter, like a big piece of coral, and just clear out everything in that area. Any ideas you took on? Any higher level cognitive toxicities? Any circular thoughts that you can't quite let go of? Just absorb them into this coral. Second guessing yourself about conversations that you had. Useless gripes. Unnecessary feelings of accountability for things that have nothing to do with you. Collect it all. And drop it into the pond. It sinks straight down into the black waters of the infinite shedding pond. And then just return to the head center. Just be in your body. Be in this room. And just be quiet. All right. Nice work, everybody. This week, I want you to notice the difference between reacting to the world around you and pushing against it versus stepping into it like a river and beginning with acceptance. Not acceptance because things are okay, not an acceptance because you're condoning anything, but an acceptance so that you can actually use every faculty you have to understand what you're interacting with. To know it, you have to become it. And when you do, it evolves. So without trying to change it, it changes. Whereas if you try and change it, it's just going to push back. This is the paradox of life. Join it the way it is, and it will change. Try and change it, and it will resist change. Again, we're talking about this on a spiritual level. We're talking about this on a level of how your consciousness is interacting with the moment. We're not talking about joining any club or ideology. Step into the river and experience it on its terms. And notice when you're not doing that. All right, everybody. If there are any questions about that, I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, I will be here next Thursday. All right? Have a great night.
Thank you.